Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Self Love Club Sunday. I am your host, Mary, and it is a beautiful Sunday. I hope wherever you are feeling great and you're feeling connected to yourself and you're ready to learn a little bit this month. I really do hope you've been listening and you've been keeping up with our monthly intentions. As you know, we have a new episode every single Sunday, hence me saying Self Love Club Sundays. But every single Sunday that we have an episode, we are focusing in on one of our monthly intentions. So obviously, that's each month we have an intention, and this month our intention is habits. We talked a little bit about overarching ideas of what habits can do for us, how they can benefit us, what they can really assist us in finding our personal growth, growing in our journey, feeling more connected to ourselves, and also accomplishing and achieving things that maybe we didn't know that we could or we felt were unattainable or out of our reach. And that's where habits really come in and become hopefully second nature to get us to where we want to be as individuals in our journey. Last week, we talked about habits that benefit the mind. So if you haven't listened to that episode, I highly recommend going back last week and listening to that. It was only like 18 minutes, I think, so pretty digestible. And this week, we're going to talk about your body. There's obviously a lot of habits that can affect your body, and we really want to just focus in on ones that kind of are overlooked. When I was doing a bit of, research and looking around at how I could discuss habits around your body and habits that I personally have implemented for my body and for feeling more connected to myself, these were a few areas that seem very straightforward, but are often overlooked in the big picture of there's so many things that we can be adding in and so many new self-care rituals or practices or classes or activities that we can be joining. So these ones to me are just sort of like the foundational and the core habits that we really want to be focusing in on when it comes to benefiting our body with habits. If you're like me, you probably have this underlying desire for a healthier lifestyle, an overarching passion for feeling good each day. I know that's one thing I personally struggle with, is waking up with energy and a positive mindset sometimes, and just that overall feeling like I have the lifestyle that I want to have. And I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this, dealing with stress or anxiety, maybe depression. There's a lot of things that can really impact our physical being. And I know for me, when I have more stress or I'm dealing with more anxiety, that will show up very physical for me in pain points where they just want to flare up when something's going on. And it's always my lower back and it's always migraines. So I just know that sometimes these things happen and it's my body telling me that I need to slow down. I need to reassess what my priorities are. And then I kind of need to get back to those core foundational habits that benefit me day to day and allow me to not only navigate life and everything that comes with it, but also enjoy the healthier lifestyle. So one thing that I would say really changed for me during the pandemic, and is one thing that now that life is just a bit busier, I've kind of forgotten, is the importance of daily movement. And this is going to look different for all of us, and it even can look different day by day for you as well. There is no right or wrong way to do this. It's all based on what feels right for your body, what your capabilities are, and what movement looks like to you. This isn't about getting to the gym or signing up for fitness classes and losing weight or achieving any of these goals. That is actually the last thing I want you to be thinking about when you look at the habit of daily movement. Movement can be as simple as standing up once an hour while you're working and making sure that you are walking around, you're doing a little bit of stretching, you're feeling in tune with yourself, and you're moving your body. Believe it or not, our bodies are designed to be moved. They're designed to bend and twist. Mine maybe not bending and twisting so much, but it definitely is designed to do that. And it's something we often forget doing because we live such a sedentary lifestyle. We sit when we eat, obviously, but we sit when we work, we sit in a car, we sit when we're with friends. Like, majority of our activities revolve around sitting. And I can attest to doing that because I love a good couch. I love a comfy chair. I mean, I'm sitting in a really cozy chair right now. I have a great couch that I invested in this year, and I like to sit in comfy places. But it's also so important to move your body. So a 30-minute daily walk could be something that you incorporate. Just getting out of your house, building this in as a routine. Maybe it's in the morning or it's in the evening, because let's be honest, in the middle of the day, it's way too hot to be going out for a walk. Or it could be something even more digestible and small. Start small if you feel overwhelmed already. The smallest thing you can be doing is maybe just 5 minutes of stretches. Even if 3 minutes of that is child's pose. I'm going to be honest, when I do child's pose, I feel a big stretch. My back is very tight, as I've mentioned time and time again. So child's pose actually is a relief for me. It's allowing my body to move, and it's a different position, and you can slowly work your way up. So maybe that's starting in the morning with stretches, or something I was doing for a while is stretches before bed, and allowing your body to release any tension you've been carrying from the day, just really stretching out and using your mind also to just kind of let everything go before you decide to go to sleep. Another thing, if maybe you're already doing your walking or you are doing your stretches and you want to add in a little bit more to your daily movement, is strength training or weight training. This is something I have done on and off throughout my life, is going to the gym and weightlifting. I think there's just so much power for me as a small individual to see what weights I can lift and feeling very connected to the strength in the core of my body. But when it comes to strength training, you don't actually need weights. That is something that we unfortunately have been sold into the fitness industry, that you have to have a gym membership, you have to be lifting certain amounts of weight. The reality is your body is weight in itself. Resistance bands are also weight. Even a big jug of water can be a weight, or some cans of beans that you have at home, those can be weights. So you don't have to look at this daily movement as spending money, joining a gym, joining a class, or going out of your comfort zone. It really is about checking in with your body and making sure that you are giving it the movement that it's designed for and that it craves, because that is a way of honoring your body and honoring its true intention. And I know when you're going through many different struggles, or if you have any physical disabilities, that's going to look very different. And that is totally okay. Again, this is about figuring out what's best for you. Your daily movement, if you deal with severe chronic pain or you have a physical disability, could truly just be from getting from bed to your couch in the living room and walking back, doing that like 2 or 3 times, and that feeling like a huge accomplishment, and also a way of respecting and honoring your body for what it can do that day. And that may not be every day. There's going to be days that just don't feel good to be moving the same amount, or your body's asking for rest, and that's what you need to be giving it. So when you're thinking about physical movement, daily movement, it's also about being in tune with your body and hearing what it needs and respecting it and giving it exactly that. Another thing that is the foundation of our body that, I'm going to be honest, it's the 21st century. I think it's still the 21st century. Maybe is it the 22nd century? I'm not really sure. Whatever century we're in, it is all about enjoying food and maybe not thinking about a balanced and nutritional diet. So I know for me, I look at something and I'm like, oh, that's going to be so delicious. I can smell ice cream when I walk past the ice cream shop, and I crave it a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I can almost taste it right away. But what I've been able to do is tune in with my body and listen to what it needs nutrients wise. Am I craving greens? Am I craving more color? Am I craving more protein in my diet? And really listening to what my body's asking for, and not ignoring it and not being distracted by commercials, advertisements, all these different things about food that maybe isn't right for me. Part of building habits, again, like I'm going to say over and over, is listening to your body and feeling very in touch with your body about what your body needs. So one thing that I think is super helpful when it comes to eating a balanced diet or balanced nutrition, making sure you're getting a little bit of everything, is meal prepping and menu planning. For me, I've started menu planning with my husband. We sit down usually on Sundays. We look at the week about which days we're working longer, if we have later shifts or we're both working into the evening. A lot of our work does overflow outside of a 9 to 5. So we look at the week and we figure out who's responsible for which meals on which days. And then we also develop a menu and we do our groceries based on that menu. That way we're not buying food that is going to go bad, that we're not going to be using, or that actually isn't a part of what our nutritional balanced diet and balanced menu is what we're looking for. Because a lot of times when you go grocery shopping and you don't have meals planned out, you just kind of buy random food and then you end up having all these different ingredients and you're not even sure what to do with it. And then you don't end up eating properly because of that. So for me, doing the menu planning is key, and then also meal prepping. So part of the menu planning is, I know I'm not going to have time to cook every single night this week, or we need lunches and I'm not going to have time during the day to spend 40 minutes cooking a lunch. So I'm going to actually prep some meals, cook maybe 4 or 6 portions instead of just 2, and put those away in containers, whether I freeze them or just keep them in the fridge. Again, it's about planning and making this a bit of a routine in your weekly schedule. It doesn't have to be on Sundays. I know a lot of us want to relax on a Sunday and listen to this great podcast, or you want to be able to be out with your friends or family and not really think about responsibilities. So pick a day that works for you to look at the week, to look at a menu, have your 4 or 5 go-to meals that you want to enjoy, that you want to be having that week, as well as making sure that, okay, I need to schedule in time to meal prep if I'm not going to have time to be cooking lunches or dinners throughout the week. One last thing that's so important for nutritional balanced eating is hydration. And I am someone who drinks a lot of water. I'm not going to lie, I enjoy sparkling water. I like flat water. I carry my trusty emotional support water bottle with me everywhere I go. People have known me for years to have a water bottle no matter what. But I still sometimes miss being hydrated enough. And part of it is it's really hot out. It's the summer. We're in July. There's a lot of heat waves, a lot of sunny days, a lot of being out with friends and maybe forgetting to drink water, and also electrolytes. So that's one thing that I've definitely added into my habits and my rituals is having electrolytes into my water, because I definitely am dehydrated often. And I can tell now because I'm like, oh, I'm so exhausted. I have this lingering headache. And then I'll have some water with electrolytes, like just a little spoonful. And suddenly I'm like, oh, I'm not exhausted. I was just dehydrated. I didn't know that I was dehydrated because I've just been chugging along and chugging my water. But we need electrolytes as well. So that's something that I would highly suggest adding into your habits, especially in the summer months, especially when you're spending time outside. Electrolytes can save you, especially from heat stroke, which none of us want, but also having a water bottle or a carafe that you keep beside your bed, something that makes drinking water not only enjoyable, but just easier to do is such an important thing. Otherwise, honestly, we're not going to drink water because it's not accessible. And the last thing we want to be doing is getting up all the time to fill up our water, though we probably should be forgetting our movement all day long. But yes, having water is a big part of having a nutritional and balanced diet, and something that, again, in the world of coffees and lattes and, Starbucks refreshers and all these other fancy drinks, we forget that sometimes just flat, pure water is actually the best thing for us. I know I touched on this last week, but I'm coming back to it because it's not only important for your mind, it's so important for your body, and it is sleep. We love sleep. We need sleep. We need a lot of sleep. I heard a fact a long time ago about how humans are one of the only mammals that needs this much sleep. So there's a reason. We need to be recharging our batteries. We need to be making sure we're getting not only a good sleep, but a deep, restful sleep, hitting those REM cycles, all that good stuff. But sleep is so vital, and it's not just about, okay, I went to bed at this time and I woke up at that time. There's a lot that goes into having a good sleep, more than just having a good mattress, which, yes, I do highly attest spending a little bit more for a good mattress that's going to last a long time. Because as someone, again, who has a bad back and deals with a little bit of body aches and pain, having a phenomenal mattress has really changed my overall energy and well-being. So a mattress is number one, but also having a sleep routine or good sleep hygiene, which is the newest saying, is so important. Do you wind down before bed, or do you just lie in bed on your phone, slowly put it off to the side, and then hope you can fall asleep with no problems? Not necessarily what works best for us. Staring at a blue light screen for so long is not ideal, and we want to be able to unwind our body, unwind our energy that we've been carrying. And I know last week, again, I talked about doing that brain dump of to-do list for the next day so your mind is fresh. Maybe this is when you add in that daily movement of stretching, you release the tension in your body, you start to unwind that way. But creating a bedtime routine and having good sleep hygiene without staring at screens, watching TV, all those things actually contributes to a better sleep. and therefore a healthier, happier physical body and overall lifestyle. Another thing that's so important when it comes to sleep, and one I always kind of go back and forth with, is having a consistent sleep routine. So if you want to be getting up at 6 a.m. and you know you need 8 hours of sleep, you need to be going to bed at 10 p.m. But if you're unwinding, and you usually unwind for about a half an hour, you need to start that routine at like 9:15, 9:30 so that you're actually falling asleep by 10. So sticking with a consistent sleep routine actually helps your body. It develops the circadian rhythm. If you're not following the sunrise and sunset, which I know at times throughout the year can be really hard to do, but you sort of build that in yourself, and you need to be consistent with it on weekends. This is where I struggle, because on weekends I love this idea of like sleeping in, even though when I do sleep in, I feel like I've wasted half the day. So it's a bit of a mental battle for me, but I love not waking up to an alarm. When you have your proper sleep routine and you have your sleep schedule and you've really built this rhythm for yourself, you're going to naturally wake up at the same time every single day. That's sort of the goal that becomes your circadian rhythm. And that helps you come out of a sleep, not out of a deep REM cycle or a deep sleep, but actually slowly wake up and feel more awake and alert when you actually wake up and rise. And that's the goal, instead of waking up feeling like you're coming through a fog or a haze or a cloud, because that's something that I often feel when my sleep schedule is all over the map. Being consistent really, really pays off, especially when it comes to habits. Another thing that I have made a difference in is having blackout curtains in my bedroom. I do like getting up early, but I don't want to wake up every single time at 5:30 in the summer. Actually, right now, I think it's 5 a.m. by the time the sun's up. I don't want to wake up every day at that time. I aim to get up around 6:30. So right now, that's a little bit past sunrise. So if I didn't have blackout blinds or blackout curtains, I would be up at 5 and I wouldn't be getting the right amount of sleep. This is something I highly recommend investing in. I think even IKEA has blackout curtains. You don't have to go fancy, but it helps create like a safe, restful space, especially in your bedroom where it's dark. Cool temperatures are also important to having a good sleep. These are things that definitely add up to preparing you for a good sleep, prepping your body to feel rested and to feel safe to have that deep sleep that you need in order to face all the fun that comes with life and everything that's going on these days. Obviously, when it comes to habits, there's so many that we can incorporate, and a lot of them can feel pretty overwhelming. I'm sure even some of these that I walked through could feel overwhelming to you, but I hope that there's baby steps in here that you find. Not doing everything all at once, but slowly adding in daily movement, whether that's stretches or walking or weightlifting. Finding what works for you and really listening to your body is truly the core of finding habits that you will stick with and that benefit you in your personal life, and not being influenced by other people, which, let's be honest, all those really trending reels on TikTok and Instagram and all that stuff right now with my 6 a.m. morning and this is what I do before work, they have influenced me. I'm not going to lie, but I don't want to measure myself against someone else and someone else's perfect recipe. This is about developing and defining your own recipe of habits that benefit your body. So really looking at what you can be doing, also what you're already doing, and congratulating yourself on that is so important along this journey. It's not always about bettering ourselves. It's so important to recognize we're doing such a good job where we're at. And I'm here to tell you, I know that you're doing an amazing job, because first off, you're listening to this podcast. You want to learn a little bit more. You want to have a perspective shift, and we're in this together. There is no end of the line for this type of journey. This is constantly growing and changing and evolving, and we're doing it together. So if there's anything that you want to ask questions about in terms of habits for your body, or maybe even things that you've implemented that have worked really well for you, I would absolutely love to hear that. You can leave us a voicemail, and the link is in the show notes. You can follow us on Instagram at It's Mary Young. You can follow me on Instagram at Mary Foriata. And again, all the good stuff is linked below in the show notes. And I hope you have an amazing day. And remember to love yourself first.